I can't live this way. I can't live so.
Saddle up, people. We just witnessed the start of a gang war.
Oh, wait, there's a bomb.
Maggie, he locked us down here.
FBI is all new tonight on CBS.
That kid is still out there.
Don't miss a moment
Run!
of Tracker. All new CBS Sunday.
We expect excellence in every seed, superior genetics, state-of-the-art processing facilities, and extensive testing for proper placement. Let us help you find the right seed for your growing conditions. Rank Seed. Results since 1846.
Rebecca Cook believes our parents and grandparents should be able to age with dignity. In Congress, she'll vote to strengthen Social Security and Medicare by repealing the tax on benefits, lowering the eligibility age for Medicare, and allowing Medicare to negotiate lower drug costs so our seniors get the prescription drugs they need at prices they can afford. Rebecca Cook, a homegrown Wisconsinite who fights for what's right. Project 218 is responsible for the content of this ad.
National Democrats have been a disaster. Higher prices, open borders, making our communities less safe. They can't run on their record, so they try to distract you by lying about abortion.
Here's the truth. I oppose a national abortion ban. Early in a pregnancy, women should have the right to decide. We should allow for exceptions. And finally, the people of Wisconsin need to decide this issue, not politicians in Washington.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
Right now at noon, political parties making one final push to voters with the election now 1 week away. Plus, what happens to your ballot if you've already casted it? We hear from the Dane County Clerk about the process. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us on a Tuesday afternoon. I'm Josh Sprider. We start in Prairie du Chien at this hour, where a suspect and victim involved in a deadly stabbing have been identified. The victim is 65-year-old Daniel Welsh. The suspect, 39-year-old Jesse Slaughter. We're told the two of them know each other. Police are referring charges to the Crawford County District Attorney. They include first-degree reckless homicide and bail jumping. Police responded to a call regarding the stabbing at East Washington Street for a welfare check. There they found Welsh with several wounds on his body. The coroner pronounced Welsh dead at the scene. Slaughter had been out on active bond through Oneida County for disorderly conduct and criminal damage to property. Right now, a house fire in Janesville leaves thousands of dollars in damage. Crews were called to the home on Forest Park Boulevard Monday morning. Heavy flames were found throughout the home. Multiple hose lines had to be used to put it out. One firefighter suffering a minor injury. They were treated and released on the scene. Nobody was in the home at the time. That fire is believed to have been accidental and related to a wood-burning heating piece of equipment in that home. Damage is estimated at more than $300,000. That family is being helped by the American Red Cross. Well, we could see potentially record-breaking temperatures today. First Warn meteorologist Kelly Slivcast will look at your certified most accurate forecast, and it's really being Wisconsin in the weather world this week.
Yeah, you know, every time you get toward the end of October, there's kind of a switch that happens. You know, we've been very warm, and we are going to continue to be warm the next couple of days, but that switch is going to happen just in time for Halloween. We'll talk more about that coming up. We do have southerly winds. This is the story. We've got these winds. They're out of the south, and that's what's dragging in all this warmer air. These are the sustained winds as high as 23 miles per hour right now in Platteville, and also over there in Watertown, getting wind speeds up above 20 miles per hour. Right now in Madison, officially at 14 miles per hour. We are calling for these winds to continue gusting up to 24 miles per hour in Madison, 29 in Platteville, and 28 in Janesville. And we could get these wind gusts today, tonight, up to 40 miles per hour. So it's going to be windy, blowing these leaves around. 76 already at the airport in Madison, that southwest wind at 14. We do have partly cloudy skies. We do have a first warn alert day, so we got the warm air in place. We have a strong cold front that's going to be arriving as we go into Wednesday night. The risk of severe weather is very marginal, but some of these storms that roll in out of Iowa do have the potential of producing large hail and damaging winds, and this will be mainly Wednesday night, mainly west of Madison. Already up to 78 in Middleton, also Wanakee, 77 right now in Fitchburg, 76 in Madison. It's going to be a windy day, but also near record warm temperatures. The record high today is 82. We'll get very close to that. It's going to be very mild tonight. We'll track the storm potential tomorrow and talk about some big changes coming away just in time for Halloween. We'll have more on that coming up.
I feel like we got to put some rocks in your pockets so you don't blow away off the patio out there.
I know, it's great. I mean, talk about, I had to bike into work in this wind, so it's going to be, I'm going to be flying home when I leave.
Oh, boy, Godspeed to you home. Yeah. All right, Kelly, thank you. Now to our 3 for the People coverage. Campaign visits are ramping up with 1 week until the election. Senator Bernie Sanders and Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez rallying supporters at the Overture Center. The progressive lawmakers focused on getting voters to turn out this election. This comes one night after a rally by former President Trump at Madison Square Garden. Ocasio-Cortez referencing a remark from that event when addressing supporters.
That Donald Trump rallied tens of thousands of people, of Americans, to rally and froth behind words like calling Puerto Rico a floating pile of garbage. I know a lot of us look at these polls and we cannot believe that the race is this tight. But a swing voter is not just from red to blue. This is what we say, it's from couch to booth.
Ocasio-Cortez is herself of Puerto Rican descent. Senator Sanders speaking at that Madison rally as well. He also campaigned in Oshkosh earlier in the day. Vice President Kamala Harris is preparing for the final big address of her campaign. Today's primetime speech will be held in Washington, D.C. There, she's going to describe her plans for the country, principally and on the economy, the top issue for voters. Aides say it's one of the last remaining opportunities for the vice president to try to reach out to what they call conflicted voters. Tomorrow, Vice President Harris will be in Madison. She'll be joined by several musicians for the campaign, getting out that vote, concert, and rally series. Former President Bill Clinton will be in Wisconsin on behalf of the Harris-Walz campaign. He'll be in the Fox Valley and Milwaukee on Thursday. Clinton is expected to tout Harris's agenda while criticizing Project 2025. An exact location and time for his visits have not been announced. Former President Trump is scheduled to return to Wisconsin as well. Tomorrow, he'll speak at the Resch Center in Green Bay. Former Packers quarterback Brett Favre will join him. Then on Friday, Trump will hold a rally at Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee. The former president is expected to talk about inflation and his economic policy at both stops. Tonight, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and former U.S. Representative Tulsi Gabbard will be in Madison for Team Trump Reclaim America tour event. It's happening at the Alliant Energy Center in the Arena building. Doors open at 5 tonight with that program starting at 6. Happening tomorrow, you can watch Madison officials test the city's election equipment. The clerk's office will conduct thorough testing of its vote counting technology. The goal is to build trust with the community. They want to show that every eligible voter can cast their ballot and that it will be counted. That test starts at 9 tomorrow morning. It will happen next to the Madison Public Library's Hawthorne location off East Washington Avenue. If you've already voted absentee, you might wonder what happens to your ballot ahead of Election Day. If so, you're far from alone. Hundreds of thousands of Wisconsinites have already cast their ballots early. At polling places across Dane County, absentee ballots are generally put into a special red bag. The Dane County Clerk says if your polling place is not already the town or village hall, it goes on a journey to your clerk's office.
There'll be a chain of custody of that, and then it'll be stored in a locked, secure location. But under Wisconsin law, they cannot be processed in any way or opened until Election Day. So 7 a.m., they start opening them, putting them through the machines and counting them. The names then go in the poll book, and that's been the process for a long time here.
The clerk says more people are voting early in person than before. He expects the process to keep growing in popularity. Still ahead for us on a Tuesday afternoon, Yankee Candle announcing new items to get your house smelling like the holidays. Plus, a company that makes baby powder expands a recall. What parents need to be aware of.
The other side is lying to scare you. Truth is, Joan Ballweg is a champion for women's health care. She fought hard to expand healthcare access for postpartum moms and supports access for IVF and birth control. We're voting for Joan Ballweg because she votes for women like us.
There's nothing we haven't seen and nothing we can't fix. Just recently, a person backed into the garage door like our commercial. Oh, it definitely happens. Here at Precision, we get in, get out the same day, and we'll leave you with a quality repair.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust.
Rebecca Cook believes our parents and grandparents should be able to age with dignity. In Congress, she'll vote to strengthen Social Security and Medicare by repealing the tax on benefits, lowering the eligibility age for Medicare, and allowing Medicare to negotiate lower drug costs so our seniors get the prescription drugs they need at prices they can afford. Rebecca Cook, a homegrown Wisconsinite who fights for what's right. Project 218 is responsible for the content of this ad.
We count on gasoline to power our cars, our tractors, our way of life. So why is a city slicker from Miami, Elizabeth Groppe, okay banning gas-powered vehicles? Extremists like Groppe want to eliminate fossil fuels, robbing hard-working families, farmers, and small businesses of their vehicles. Miami Liz's radical ideas hurt our families and our main streets. Don't let Groppe get away with it. Born and raised right here. Todd Novak is our independent voice for common sense, protecting our way of life.
They've been rocking audiences for decades. It's Foghat. Performing live November 30th at Ho-Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
I just want to make
with special guest, The Empty Pockets. Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster. Legendary rock band Foghat. Live in concert November 30th at Ho-Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Your odds are better here.
California banker Eric Hovde has a plan that helps him and hurts you.
Here's the math. Hovde proposed $4 trillion in new tax cuts for rich people like him.
And we pay for Hovde's tax breaks with a 28% cut to Social Security and a 25% cut to Medicare.
Hovde even said he would raise the retirement age.
You have to start changing the retirement age.
Eric Hovde still helping himself and hurting you.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
My name is George.
My name is Anna.
My name is Latanya.
And it didn't cost me a thing.
Zero. Zilch.
Not a thing to call Gruber Law Offices. I did not have to pay $1.
Zero.
Nothing. Nada.
When I called Gruber Law Offices.
I just made the call and they took care of everything.
It was free.
Zero. Nada.
Not a thing.
I can call them and not have to pay anything.
That was the best feeling ever.
There's never a fee until we win.
Free.
Nothing.
Not a thing.
Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme.
Dynarex is expanding its baby powder recall by hundreds more cases because they may be contaminated with asbestos. The expansion affects Dynacare baby powder 14-ounce sizes with the product number 4875 and the 4-ounce size under item number 4874. Asbestos is a naturally occurring mineral known to cause cancer and other health issues. No illnesses have been reported so far. Consumers are urged to throw away or return the recalled items for a full refund. Stocks and investing app Robinhood is now allowing its users to bet on the outcome of next week's presidential election between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. The company said yesterday that it's offering a limited number of contracts to people, all who must be U.S. citizens, in order to participate. Robinhood shares rose more than 3% for the day after the announcement. And Yankee Candle wants your home to smell like the holidays. With the season fast approaching, the company is releasing 2 new Passport to the Holidays and après-ski collections, with fragrances and titles inspired by travel destinations and winter activities. The new candles are available at Yankee Candle's websites and retailers, with prices starting around $12.99. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Wendy Gillette.
At the noon hour, here's your stock report. The Dow is down 25 points, NASDAQ up 136, and the S&P 500 also up 14. Our Call for Action volunteers are in the building today taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. You can call for action at 608-270-2833 or submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call-for-action. Pam is watching your egg prices straight ahead, and Kelly is tracking potential record temps and strong storms in the first warn forecast. And later on Live at 4, Consumer reports on ways to stay safe on the road when things take a turn for the worse.
Insanity,
doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Kamala wouldn't change a thing? Their weakness invited wars, welfare for illegals, while Americans struggle. Now Kamala wants higher taxes on top of higher prices. We can't afford 4 more years of Kamala.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
I think we're probably spending too much, throwing too much money on our southern border.
Last month, fentanyl killed my childhood friend. Drugs and criminals are pouring into our communities because Tammy Baldwin voted to open our border and defund our police. I moved here from New York to protect my family, but Tammy's bringing her New York values to Wisconsin. Tammy Baldwin is dangerous.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. Join my team and give today.
We know what Joan Ballwig wants to do. Ban abortion and birth control. That's it. That's her plan. Sarah Kieski is focused on bringing costs down, and she has real plans to lower the cost of healthcare and housing, prescription drugs, and to cut your taxes. So if you want a candidate focused on banning abortion and birth control, that's Joan Ballwig. For everyone else, there's Sarah Kieski. She's running for state senate to finally bring costs down.
I'm a steel worker. I grew up right here on a little family farm. Trump was here campaigning with Elon Musk. Now there's a prime example of who he keeps close. Donald Trump cares about his billionaire friends. He's just going to turn around and give them more tax breaks. But Kamala Harris is fighting for the working class. She'll make billionaires pay their fair share. That way working people get a fair shot. Elon Musk is voting for his money, and I'm voting for mine. And I'm voting for Kamala Harris.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad. The problem with Todd Novak, he voted with his extreme party leaders 100% of the time, like voting against lower prescription prices. And Todd Novak authored the law to ban abortion in Wisconsin, with no exceptions for rape and incest. Todd Novak is with the extremists 100%, and he's hurting Wisconsin. Elizabeth Grabe will defend abortion rights, get more police funding, and bring down costs. Elizabeth Grabe for Assembly.
Donald Trump has always wanted unchecked power.
I have the right to do whatever I want as president.
And with Project 2025, he'll get it. No guardrails. This time, he will eliminate protections for pre-existing conditions, and he'll cut Social Security and Medicare to give more tax cuts to billionaires. Donald Trump is more unhinged and unstable than ever. If we give him total power, he'll put everything at risk.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
On the next Live at 4, surviving a serious car crash.
Consumer Reports has essential ways to stay safe when things take a turn for the worse.
A growing number of immigrants are chasing the American dream north to Wisconsin. How are our communities adjusting? I'm in Whitewater digging into the realities and the rewards. 3 for the People, Wednesday at 10.
The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Welcome back at noon. Let's check in now with Pam Yankee from the Midwest Farm Report. Hi, Pam.
Short sleeves day out there, Joshy, for sure. And I promised you pictures from our East Coast farm tour, and I got them. And vibrant colors, what we saw when we visited with Massachusetts cranberry growers. Bob Bentley is one of those. He's got just a small bog himself, but he was kind enough to take us around to one of the larger operations. Now, Massachusetts is number 2 behind Wisconsin as far as cranberry production is concerned, but they're quite a distant number 2. They also employ a different method of harvesting that Wisconsin cranberry growers don't use, and that's dryland harvesting. Now, Bob Bentley was telling me that it was a lot more popular a few years back, but basically what they do is go into the bogs and do not use water to harvest the berries. He said it's very slow, it takes a lot of time, but it is an option that a lot of Massachusetts cranberry growers were using. Instead, what we noticed were the same kinds of tactics that we use in Wisconsin, where they flood the bogs. The bogs, as you saw, that cranberry's got 4 air chambers in it to allow the berries to float. We only use the water at the harvest. The berries otherwise grow dry, just like anything else, and then they basically round them up and bring them into the combine. So thank you again to the Massachusetts Cranberry Association. They call themselves the Cape Cod Cranberry Growers Association. Not quite as big as Wisconsin when it comes to cranberries, but definitely sincere in taking care of the land. All right, speaking of the land, it's pretty doggone dry out there. The latest crop progress report shows 23% of our pasture conditions rated good to excellent across the state. That's down 3 percentage points in a week. And winter wheat, about 66% of that crop called good to excellent. That's down 9 percentage points in a week. And it is all about the dry weather that's persisting, at least for a little while longer, across the state. I'll let Kelly tell us more about that. Today, the barrel cheese was up 2 cents at $1.89. 40-pound block cheese on Tuesday down a half at $1.89.5. While AA butter gained back a penny and a half today, still at $2.69 a pound. But boy, the colors were absolutely glorious out in Massachusetts when we got a chance to learn a little bit more about their cranberry harvesting situation. They had a pretty good crop there too. But like I said, now everybody's starting to cast their eyes to the sky and hoping that Kelly's going to shake us out a little bit of rain.
Yeah, whenever leaves are left around here, that wind is bringing them down, and especially that rain in the way too. It's nuts out there.
For sure.
All right, Pam. Well, you have a great afternoon.
See you later.
Well, let's get a look at your certified most accurate forecast. First Warn meteorologist Kelly Slifka tracking those changing conditions. Hi, Kelly.
Yeah, you know, Pam was talking about the dry conditions here in southern Wisconsin. Obviously, it's been going on for several months, but that is definitely going to change. The first one will be coming in already by tomorrow night, and then we've got a series of storms through the later part of the weekend into much of next week. We have a first warn alert day. Now, this is the potential for a couple of storms rolling in out of Iowa that do have the potential of producing some large hail and damaging winds. This will be mainly west of Madison and mainly Wednesday night. I don't expect widespread severe weather, but we really haven't dealt with anything for several months because of the, well, dry conditions we've had. We're under the lowest risk, the marginal risk, the shading in green, basically west side of Madison over there toward Iowa. I think the bigger threat is going to stay well to our southwest into southern Iowa and parts of Missouri, but we could be on the northeastern fringe of that. So this is a slow-moving system. It's just kind of parked over Minnesota. They've got some rain there, and you do see a series of 2 cold fronts. This storm system, the cold front will arrive here tomorrow night, but even as that first cold front comes through, it's going to be kind of in its weakening phase, and it's going to get wrapped up. We're still going to see that southwest wind. That secondary cold front that's moving out of Canada, that one's got some much colder air behind it, and that's what's going to be arriving on Halloween Day. Otherwise, in the meantime, just near record warmth expected today and also tomorrow. We are looking at some windy conditions, and it's not just today, it's not just tomorrow, but even in through Halloween, it looks like we could see these wind gusts up to 30, 35, even 40 miles per hour. We are looking at those storms to roll in later in the day, Wednesday, mainly late in the afternoon west of Madison, then toward the evening in the Madison area. May see a shower tomorrow morning, but I think most of tomorrow during the daylight hours in Madison should be dry. We will start to see these storms roll in out of western Wisconsin, reach the Madison area by the mid to late evening hours through the overnight period. Still can't rule out a shower as we go into Halloween morning. I think as the trick-or-treaters are out, it'll be dry, but it's going to be turning blustery and much colder. You know, the wind gusts today, we are expecting these wind gusts up to 30, 35, even 40 miles per hour. That will continue right through tonight. See some of these wind gusts that will just continue right through our Wednesday. So it's just going to be windy the next couple of days. Any raking of leaves is going to be tough for most of the rest of this week. So we do have this sunshine out here and that southerly wind pushing these temperatures in the lower 80s. Our record high today is 82, expecting that high close to that. Very mild this evening. I think most of this evening will be in the 70s, not dropping down in the 60s until the morning hours. Can't rule out an isolated shower. You can see a couple of green blobs showing up here, but the bulk of the rain is going to be coming in later in the afternoon, areas to the west, toward the Cooley region, then moving toward the Wisconsin River Valley, Madison area about 9 o'clock, seeing that cluster of showers, even some embedded storms. It does kind of break up as it moves east of Madison, so not as much rain to the east of there. Maybe a shower on Thursday morning, and then yes, it's even cold enough. We'll see these temperatures fall through the 50s into the 40s. And yes, even some snow possible in parts of the Chippewa Valley, northwestern Wisconsin. So that's indicating some much colder air moving in. Heaviest rains to the west, 1, 2, maybe even 3 inches of rain. Madison, maybe a half to 3/4 of an inch. Lesser amounts expected areas to the east. We're mild out here, already warm, 80 currently along the Wisconsin River Valley. We're sitting at 76 at the airport in Madison, 79 already in Middleton, so we're closing in on 80 already. 81 expected today. The alert day mainly to the west of Madison tomorrow evening. Then that temperature in the 50s Thursday morning will actually drop through the 40s come time for the trick-or-treaters. We remain cool and kind of active, especially late Saturday right through much of next week.
All right, we're going to be hanging on tight with that forecast, Kelly. Thank you. Up next, Howard has a recipe that he says will be perfect for later in the week.
If you spend more time cleaning up after dinner than you do enjoying it, then we need to talk. Because I'm pretty sure I have an idea that'll change all that.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
I'm Joan Ballwig, and I'm here to set the record straight. I support birth control, the life and health of mothers, extending postpartum care, and fertility treatments, including IVF. I'm Joan Ballwig. I have always fought for Wisconsin moms, and I always will.
So let's get one thing straight. When Donald Trump talks about cutting Social Security and Medicare, it's like spitting in the face of America's seniors. We paid into these programs for our entire careers, and he would just cut them? Why? He wants to give another tax cut to the super rich, which they don't need. I know that Kamala Harris will protect our Social Security because she understands why it's so important for so many of us.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
According to Senator Baldwin, I'm a jerk. Her whole campaign is trying to get you to hate me.
She's lied about where we live, what Eric has said and done.
Now she's trying to scare seniors, saying I'd take their Social Security away. I would never do that.
If honesty and integrity are important to you and your family, shouldn't we expect the same from the leaders of our country?
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. I sure hope those values still matter.
Winning at Ho-Chunk Gaming just got bigger, like mega bigger. When you win a hand-paid jackpot at Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells, you're automatically entered into our mega jackpot winners quarterly drawings with a grand prize drawing on January 18th to win a new Jeep Wagoneer Carbine and a chance for $100,000 in cash. Jackpot weekly drawings are going on now. Mondays, 10 winners, $500 in rewards play. Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells. Your odds are better here.
They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. Why hasn't she done it?
For years, radical Kamala Harris created the border crisis. Thousands of accused murderers, rapists, even terrorists pour in. Each crime they commit makes American victims. Innocent victims of Kamala's open border agenda. They were bludgeoned, raped, strangled, stabbed, shot, and murdered. Kamala created the border crisis. She won't fix it now. Make America Great Again, Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I'm Elizabeth Grabby, and this is Home. Whether it was saving our family farm, starting my small business, or standing up to utility rate hikes, I've learned to solve problems by bringing people together. And right now, we have some real problems to solve. Corporations jacking up prices, and extreme politicians banning abortion. I'm Elizabeth Grabby, and together we can bring down costs and protect the right to make our own medical decisions.
Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme.
Most of the time, when it comes to making dinner, we're looking for ways to make it fast, cheap, and easy, so we don't have to wash pots and pans all night. If that sounds good to you, then I know you're gonna love our one-pot dish that we're making today. And since it's so fill-you-up tasty, your gang will love it too. We start by sauteing a good amount of ground beef along with a chopped onion until it's browned. This takes just a few minutes. To give it its rich flavor, we add an envelope of onion soup mix, a jar of beef gravy, and a few spices. Now, rather than cutting up all sorts of veggies, we simply stir in a bag of frozen mixed vegetables. After spooning this into a casserole dish, we top it off with some mashed potatoes. And these can be homemade, but for this, it's a lot easier and just as tasty if we use packaged refrigerated ones. All that's left to do is sprinkle it with some paprika and bake it off. We can even make this a day or two in advance if we want. What we end up with is a rich and comforting casserole that has everything you like, all in one pan. If that sounds good to you, just go online and get the recipe for satisfying shepherd's pie so you can have an up-to-date twist on an old English classic. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a satisfying way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
That's going to do it for us today at noon. Have a great afternoon. Susan and Brady are back with you on News 3 Now, live at 4.